Greetings, this is Gideon, and despite me being a little bit sick, I really want to talk about certain ship in Starsector that's often misunderstood, I feel like, and unjustly shat on. That ship is Conquest. It's a capital ship, but like the basically lightest of the capital ships as far as the ordnance points go, and very interesting in the sense that it has two broadsides, right? So I feel like people really misunderstand how to use that thing, because I would say, while it's not a ship for player to pilot, of course, you can pilot whatever you want, and you can totally enjoy Conquest. It's best used for AI, because AI in Starsector is really good, at least that's I believe. Yeah, sure, it can derp out and whatnot, but it's really good in many things, such as skipping maximum range of its weapons, like optimal range. It can micro omni shield, so something that Conquest has. It's a shield that is directional and can rotate, right? So it's very hard to do for a player. It's not really feasible to pilot ship properly and micro like that. It's purely AI domain. And yeah, it has those interesting broadsides, right, that AI can utilize quite well. So common mistake I feel like that's made with Conquest is that people just want to jam a weapon into every slot it has, which again, you're more than welcome to, but that's probably why you think Conquest is bad, because Conquest doesn't have that many ordnance points to work with. So you want to maximize what you are given for things that are actually effective. And those things are few weapon systems and quite a lot of pool mods, right? So this is a naked Conquest, right? It doesn't have anything built in. And your primary weapon, there are two primary weapon types, right? It's one of, you pick which side you prefer, right? It's going to be Gauss Cannon for like the for the bare bones Conquest, right? That doesn't have a officer piloting it, that doesn't have any skills coming from you, right? It's going to be Gauss cannons, and for your second weapon, like main actual way of punching through armor, at least on something bigger than like destroyer cruiser, would be Hurricane Mirv launchers. So I took some break from Starsector, right? So now that I came back to it, now I see that they actually took a freaking fat nerf. Because they used to be 11 missiles, so they literally lost a quarter of their firepower. Actually, more than a quarter. What am I saying? Like 7 compared to 11, right? Yeah, 4 missiles missing. Jesus, that's a big nerf. I think what they've gotten to compensate that is just slightly better tracking faster missiles. Not worth it. No. So yeah, I'll address that in a bit, actually, because that was probably unquestionably best choice for the slot, fighting everything except of Redacted, but I think there's actually a better choice in general for like properly stacked Conquest. But yeah, so those are the two things. Now, Devastator cannons on the other side, because well, you know, your broadside ship, you only really need one side to be dishing out damage and long range, and the other, in form of Devastators, basically wherever you'll be targeted by a fighter strike or anything like that. Of course, as long as those are not torpedo bombers, they will start surrounding you and whatnot, and Devastators basically delete anything that happens to be on this side. AI also, it does decent job with that, where it will assume that sometimes it will be better to face enemy with this side. For example, when it will spot like a lot of missiles on fighters coming in. Usually it still prefers to face with this side, but yeah, like anything that's coming your way with Devastators as far as ordnance goes, it will get deleted. And finally, Harpoon Submarines, they basically help you out finish off ships. It's like extra little bit of punch. One could argue for Sabos instead. Sabos basically give you sort of a better protection against destroyers and maybe in frigates, but mainly destroyers trying to flank you, right? They'll pop their shields very quickly and together with Gauss cannons. But I prefer Harpoon and Worms. So that's all, right? You don't put anything anywhere else. We don't have ordnance to do that. But what you need to put those ordnance in heavy armor. Conquest base armor is bad, and while your shields are okay, they're not high-tech shields. You will be doing some armor and whole tanking, or rather not you, but your AI will do that. So armor is very necessary. Expand missile racks, that's a no-brainer because a ton of your damage is coming from your missile pods, so yeah, that's not negotiable. Integrate targeting in single story, that's a basically no-brainer, full mod. It's very necessary for Conquest to be effective. Now, ECCM package, yeah, that's pretty damn good. You know, increases speed of missiles, their maneuverability, you know, stuff like that. Of course, also there's that part with ECM. It matters more. It matters more when fighting redacted, but even against regular enemies, the speed and flare negation it's useful. Flux conduits, yeah, them important because of the ion cannons. That's one thing, but also AI will be venting often. Conquest is a ship that is very good in venting, just pulling back and venting. So yeah, that helps out with that. Armored weapon mounts, yeah, those two are just also very good. Extra bit of armor. You know, you don't want your weapons to be shut down when, you know, your shields will not be always up, like I said. So sometimes things like torpedoes from bombers will come through, and yeah, you want those weapons to keep on firing. And advanced turret gyros, yeah, this is like combo basically, right? If you take armored weapon mounts, like armored weapon mounts basically require advanced turret gyros, but advanced turret gyros just by themselves are really, really, really good. On capital ships with those big, bulky weapons, it's very important. And I'm not gonna be talking about S-mod upgrade yet. We're gonna get to that. Stabilized shields. So stabilized shields cuts shield flux per second by half, right? So from 480 it goes to 240. It's like having 24 extra vents while shield is active. So it earns you basically 9 OPA that way. So yeah, that's also very good. And yeah, you know, the Conquest thing is the heavy ballistic integration. I noticed that also. So when I was playing, because like I said, I had a break, Onslaught didn't have that, but now Onslaught has it. So Onslaught just got also way better. I need to take a look at him sometimes. Onslaught is super fun to pilot for a player. Right. Also, Conquest has a system, the maneuvering jets, right? And that's the secret ingredient that makes Conquest that good, again, in being piloted by AI. Because AI is really good in keeping that optimal range with, you know, your superior Gauss cannons. And yeah, you basically, Conquest will not get caught that easily by anything. So just to showcase it very quickly, right? Again, this is completely naked Conquest. Let's go, and I'm gonna do the 2x speed up. I think there's something about 2x speed up that does change a little bit game mechanically, where some things are slightly worse, some things might be a little better, but it's really not that big of a deal. So just for the sake of doing the game quickly, I will keep it up. So the thing with Onslaught, right, it has the TPC cannon, which is incredibly powerful system. Very good weapon. It has really good range. So yeah, it basically offered quite a big burst initially. But what you're observing right now is that how AIs are interacting with those ships. So Onslaught knows that if it tries to burn towards, Conquest will just burn away as well and keep the range out, and you know, Conquest will be open up to more missile volleys and stuff like that. You know, it does the initial burn, but after that it's very hesitant to do it, at least on its own. The shield pressure is massive from Gauss cannons, so yeah, we see that the missiles are just punching through already. You know, once armor is gone, Gauss cannon is also doing decent enough damage. Wow, of course it is. Whole mirror destroyed by this small little asteroid. Gauss cannons by themselves, they pack a decent punch, so against like destroyers, they also get through armor quite effectively. But yeah, against cruisers and, you know, capital ships in particular, you need those MIRVs to get through, right? But yeah, man, I can see, like, before that Conquest would have been long dead when the MIRVs were 11 missiles, so that's a significant nerf to MIRVs. But yeah, MIRVs are pretty sweet. They evade your own friendly ships. This is taking a while, I think, because of those stupid asteroids, but yeah, Conquest AI is completely, like, doesn't know what to do. And look, I'm not, like, a huge fan of those, like, tests in a closed environment like that, because it doesn't account for... Of course, you could set it up that way you have more ships and it has more ships, but I'm too lazy for that. But in real fight, of course, you have many more ships and it has more ships, and Conquest is a support platform, right? It's not going to be in your front line. I mean, it could be, right? But it likes to stay in a range, and there you go. So, you know, the 1v1 scenarios are not really objective, I feel like, but they do give you some idea. So yeah, Onslaught, not a problem at all. I'm just gonna show it really quickly what happens against something like Paragon. Again, this is completely naked Conquest, as in no hull mods or skills. But basically, this is kind of a stalemate. So, Paragon is not able to get through shields before Conquest moves out of the range, but Conquest also is not able to get through shields of Paragon fast enough, right? And oh, excuse me, yeah, like I said, I'm sick. And yeah, just gonna waste all the missiles over time. So but you know, you will not be really using Conquest like that, you know, no skills, no built-in hull mods, no you know, your commander like fleet-wide skills or pilot leading. So let's upgrade slightly, okay? Actually, hold on, let me give this harpoons. So this is upgraded one in the sense that it gets 2 built-in hull mods this time. So advanced rate gyros is a no-brainer, right? It's really cool that S mods give like bonuses right now. So the 25% increase against missiles fighters and this whole the class difference, incredible bonus, incredible. And now here ECCM package, you can skip that. This is something you want to consider when you are like purely fighting Redacted, right? Because Redacted will always crush you with ECM rating, so that will help you out with that on your missiles at least. But it's not necessary. Probably instead of that, when you have only 2 built-in mod slots, because you get 3 with appropriate skill on your commander, I would probably slap in heavy armor. So heavy armor, you lose 25 maneuverability, but it's well worth 40 OP cost. So if I'm not wrong, it used to be that heavy armor had built in like 10% or something like that, loss of maneuverability. So it got increased, so it got removed from base, but it got increased when you S-modded, but it's 40 freaking points, so that's probably what you want to do. So this is like a bit of an upgrade, and what I did slap in here compared to the other variant is Accelerated Shield. I think this is also very good on Conquest because how good AI is in microing shield. It's not always the shield doesn't always go fast enough to cover enough of your ship to like prevent, for example, mass bomber run. So that's why accelerated shields come in, and they do a very good job of that. And in this case, I just increased vents and capacitors, but there are other things you can do with that. Probably instead of that, what I would actually go for is heavy burst laser and hold on, where are my... Okay, oh right, I haven't talked about it, but as far as this is mostly like vanilla. The couple mods that I have here are just libraries, graphics lib, like some graphical mods, and of course console commands, so to help with testing. So, oh, oops, I got that. Alright. Transfer cargo. Let's get a couple extra weapons. What was I looking for? Burst lasers, wasn't it? Burst PD, I mean. Yeah. Let's get some of that. Okay, I do have heavy. I think this is. Oh no, there's one more. There we go. Okay, I will talk about those in a bit. Yeah, that looks about right. Cool. So let's repair. So for here, that's kind of the alternative I would potentially look at. I mean, you can do what you want, honestly, when you're saving those couple points with initial investment. But this helps you mainly with bomber strikes, right? Because let's see how will we do again with a naked against Astral. Astral is of course really nasty thing to fight because of its ability to recall fighters. But yeah, here we see how, of course, we did get slapped because, you know, the big alpha strike, but AI is doing very good job in using shield to block all the torpedoes, right? And of course, you see, anything that goes on this side just gets evaporated. Yep, instantly. And yeah, also we see the whole thing with venting. Now, other thing that you see is that Gauss cannons are firing at the strikecraft. And I know there is a mod that you can use to alternate, like give very specific behavior for weapons. And I think it's a fine mod. I think it can definitely min-max your ships, but I don't like it. I don't really like to use it. I don't think it's necessary because I actually think that AI is smart enough to where it can prioritize ship with its big gun, it will do it. But when it has time, when it's not in the range of big ship, but it's in range of those guys, it will use the big guns effectively against fighter squads, and that's what I want them to do. So yeah, this is of course not looking like great for our guy, but you know, I'm just trying to show you, you know, how survivable it actually is, despite, you know, there being just billions of torpedoes going into it. Right, good shield, you know, putting it up fast, and you know, it's again, Astral is probably the nastiest case of what can happen to you as far as strikecraft goes, because of the mechanic of its easily repairing ships when recalling and stuff like that. Now, let's do a quick thing and actually talk about skills. So, as a commander, right? Let's hold on. What was the command? Add XP. Okay, let's go to max level, so I don't have to worry about that. So, as a commander, what you probably will do, you take this. You will want this. Nice. As far as this goes. Oh, excuse me. Probably that one and that one. Now, here. I never remember those. Definitely this one. The maximum combat readiness is incredibly strong. You know, this mainly depends on what you are actually using in your fleet, right? So, for example, you know, capitals are fun, so let's take that one. Actually, it might not even, it might help a little bit extra with other things than just the fighter wings. I mean, sure, let's go with that. Now, here, this one is the important one because it's extra elite skill as well. And here it's this one. And then, you know, how many points do we have left? 6. You could potentially max out those two as well. And especially this one is very good when you're running more ships, but I'm kind of getting off topic because we're just trying to focus on what to do for Conquest. So, I'm gonna try and represent what you want on your officers piloting Conquest. So probably also this one, probably that one. Point defense, not really. Combat endurance, maybe. I mean, helmsmanship is, yeah, probably helmsmanship, and then missile specialization, okay? And then I have 1 point left. I don't know what the hell to do with it. Crap, I forgot. I think your officers get up to 6 skills, right? So you get like 4 reds and 1 blue, and yeah, because on your officers, right, you basically want polarized armor, you want gunner implants, you want ballistic mastery, target analysis, missile specialization, and I think impact mitigation. So that's the 4 reds you will get on your officers, 1 blue and 1 yellow. So I don't know. I guess. I mean, this is probably something like that, right? That's an exemplary way you would build for the late game, right? And this is, I mean, we're getting much stronger right now already. So actually, let's look at this guy, because here, you know, again, I had ECM package built in, but in this case, let's go with a building in heavy armor. Let's build an expanded missile rack, and let's build an the advanced turret gyros. Okay, so this is probably, again, better unless fighting redacted. So you see that reduces the rate of fire missiles by 20%. And this actually is kind of beneficial, because as you probably already saw, AI tends to just keep on firing your missiles. So this is actually gonna slow down the usage, and it's gonna give more time to your ballistics to actually pressure the shield for missiles before missiles get fired. So that's probably actually a benefit to slow down, and it gives you also a nice OP discount. So for the extra modules that we want to give in now that we have made extra bit of space, would be the accelerated shield again, and probably solar shielding. Oh, why I cannot take it? Oh, right, we are not doing the thing. My bad. Right. So accelerated shielding and solar. Right. So solar shielding, again, really good when you start fighting redacted. It's pretty useful against the other normal fleets as well. So now that we actually have bonuses coming from our character, plus he's also representing, officer piloting it with those skills. Like technically, you probably take off helmsmanship, I think. Oh, I didn't put masteries. Whoops, hold on. So yeah, mastery. I'm not gonna master that one. I think you can only master 4 skills on your officers, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, those are the ones you want to master. Now, let's get to the weapon system. So you can still be perfectly happy with Gauss cannons and MIRVs. What you do this time is you put those burst PDs, but couple extra, probably this one as well even. You max out vents, right? And I mean, let me just double check if maybe I'm missing some good idea here. Insulated engine could be, it's not really necessary. Again, you do keep range effectively enough to not have to worry about flankers getting your engines. So that's that. Yeah, honestly, I don't think hardened shields, I suppose, are one thing you can consider, right? So instead of having 48, you're gonna go down to 23, and you take hardened shields. It's pricey. It's pricey. If you prefer, actually, hold on, sorry. Let's do it like that. I think this is better, yeah, because it does still have some arc to the left. If you prefer, you can of course have less vents and more capacitors, but vents in general are better than capacitors, unless in general, there are some specific circumstances where capacitors are much better. So that's let's see how we're gonna do against, you know, single big boy this time. It's gonna be much quicker. Of course, the asteroids are still getting in the way, but yeah, he's basically screwed already, right? And you know, again, this is of course with officer and skills, but you know, you get to that point pretty quickly, right? It's nothing like far-fetched, and you know, if you're not putting your officers in a capital ship, so where else? Well, where else are you putting them? So let's see how we're gonna do against something spicier, right? Let's go with something like that. I don't know, actually. I don't know how we will do. I just it was clicking. So a lot of various wings, right? So that's where the extra PD comes in handy to help you cover against some specific like torpedoes and whatnot. So yeah, of course, this was an alpha strike from Astral, so it's very hard to stop. But you know, after the initial volley, and again, this is only one ship, right? It's not realistic circumstances. It should do pretty well now. So yeah, Falcon just got wrecked. Eagle is getting also absolutely shredded. You know, it cannot put the shields up to stop the Gauss cannons at all, right? It's gone. And again, every time any fighter wings come from this side, they just get deleted. Well, that hurt. Oh, but you see what he's doing right now? He's trying to position, you know, the Devastators against, well, maybe not right now. I think Devastators would have been better on that side this time, but yeah. You see how good the Gauss cannons are actually in killing the ships, especially when they're retreating. But even right now, no, there goes bomber, there goes another bomber, I think. So yeah, it cuts down any ordnance coming. What the fuck was that? It cuts down any ordnance coming your way quite well. But yeah, that's what I was talking about, about taking some armor damage, right? You know, shield is great and all, but there will be circumstances when you will be doing armor tanking and hull tanking, and yeah, that's why heavy armor is so necessary. But yeah. Right now, no problem stopping any of that. And you know, you see that I wasn't even giving orders in either previous things or right now. I could probably be more optimal. Oh my god, I love Devastator so much. Well, we died, okay? That's fine. That was very unfair fight. Which... Sorry if you hear the emergency vehicle. Which can be made much easier, I think, if we put Mjolnir. So, you want to put Mjolnir, you do want to put Mjolnir, basically. I think Mjolnir is better than Gauss Cannon most of the time. The reason why you do want it only after you have proper officer piloting it and, you know, integrated targeting unit in particular is because Mjolnir has much shorter range than Gauss Cannon. And, you know, range is the power of Conquest again. So let's try against the same thing. So the reason why, one of the reasons why Mjolnirs are much better is that they fire much faster than Gauss Cannon. You see that, right? So they will be dealing with fighter wings and stuff like that much more effectively as well. So those bombers will hurt. Yeah, okay. I was about to say that we did it much better this time against the Alpha Strike, but well, it didn't last. Okay, so yeah, we have blocked 2 volleys from Astral, so we're gonna have a breather right now. And now it's time to kill the destroyers, or sorry, the cruisers. No problem blocking all the missiles with shield. I believe we should have Oh Jesus. Okay, I think we just got a bit unlucky here. I think, I think we should have done better. You know, let's give it a go again. Okay, this is pretty extreme, but let's give it a go again. I think we got a little bit unlucky. How it went. So let's try again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, this time no problem at all blocking everything. That's what we should expect to happen, right? Not what happened in the previous try. Again, this guy's already dead, basically. Harpoon's gonna finish it off. Still, basically no armor damage. Okay, some happen. But yeah, Mjolnir is just way better in shooting down incoming bombers and fighters, and missiles even. And just puts a better pressure on not only shield but armor. Gas cannon is better against purely shields, but Mjolnir is better against armor. And you know, it has that sweet EMP effect as well. Yeah, no fucking problem at all blocking. You know, guy is like fighting fighters from this side and a cruiser. Here comes volley from the capital carrier, and also no problem. Of course, those guys don't have their own officers and stuff like that, but it's still quite heavily in their favor considering the numbers. Yeah, Harpoon's being smart, decide to destroy bombers instead of going to waste. Well, this one got lucky, but yeah. Astral's ability is really good. That's why it's able to just keep on sending out those fighter wings. But against other carriers, losing wings like that to, you know, barrages from weapons is very punishing for how much damage they can actually output, right? It takes time to rebuild the bomber. Yeah, you know, if you can just magically teleport and resupply them like Astral does. But yeah, no problem at all. Still hardly any damage, only from the initial engagement. And yeah, those are just popping. Again, that's why I'm gonna come back to that. I am aware of that mod, that you can specify behavioral weapons, what they target and whatnot, but I really don't think it's necessary. And you do want even your big mounts to sometimes fire against bombers. Here, of course, point blank, so we did get some damage, but yeah, Astral is in trouble. Yeah, no problem. So that's that. And the only way I think we can improve right now is with Skull MLRMs. So in the past, I would advise using those when fighting against Redacted. But considering the nerfs to MIRVs, they might be just straight up better all the time, you know? I'm not sure if you want to use them with Mjolnir. I think with Mjolnirs, right? Because they do mainly shield damage, so you don't need to Gauss Cannon. So let's see, how will we do against, I know, something like that. And yeah, you see how often those maneuvering jets are being used, you know. So there's always, you know, the range advantage on you. Of course, here Paragon with its incredible targeting computer is putting out some good pressure. But I think it's gonna take only one of those ships to overextend, and yeah, they're gonna die. Of course, DCP is incredible. He's doing his thing. Okay, there we go. Probably giving an order to try and kill one of the onslaughts would have been better. Yeah, we have to pressure Paragon shields again. But you see how scared AI is of the Conquest, right? Like they're just not gonna push it. And even if they do, it's gonna end poorly for them. And remember, normally you have your fleet supporting it, right? This is a support capital. It's not onslaught. So yeah, we're chewing through missiles quite rapidly, but oh, there we go. Is this okay? You know, hold on. Let's try. Let's try and let's see what effect it's gonna have. Actually, I think this is gonna kill this onslaught basically. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, the problem with giving order like that is, you know, it starts to neglect its safety, right? So, you know, maybe that was a great example. I think, okay, so in these circumstances, I think Gauss cannons would actually do better. And MIRVs, right? But, I mean, I don't know if there's point of showing that, but let's try. Because I did test it before, this particular fight, and the Paragon and Conquest got wrecked, so let's try it again. It basically comes down to the range, where Mjolnir's not having enough range to pressure Paragon without Paragon being able to pressure your shield. That's where the whole difference comes in. So let's give it an order. I mean, I usually don't give orders, and you know, for the good reason, right? Okay, stop it. Hold on, what was that? Okay, there we go. But basically, it's best thing to just let it do its thing, and it's gonna manage just fine. But you see how quickly the shields get popped with Gauss cannon. They go faster with MLRMs and Mjolnirs, but this is like more range focused build. But like I said, with you having your own ships and stuff like that, you'll do better having Mjolnirs and MLRMs probably. They're being completely outranged. AI is perfect in keeping the optimal range from those guys and dishing out maximum damage it can. You know, using maneuvering jets. No problems there at all. It looks like this Conquest is about to pop. Oh, no, let's switch targets. My Battletech enthusiast definitely loves Gauss cannons, although Battletech Gauss cannons are a bit more impactful than the ones in Starsector. But yeah, you get the gist of it, right? So probably the best build would be something like that, more or less, right? As far as weapon systems go, this is it. You can mess around, maybe instead of burst PDs you want to put a flag, but I think burst PDs just do a better job in destroying what you actually are worried about, being torpedoes. You know, just gonna say, don't ever think about fun things like shield shunt, because even if you can destroy missiles and stuff like that with your PD, shield shunt is basically asks your ship to be drilled by other types of weapons, such as what are they called? Crap. 1 second. Transfer cargo. Where is it? Oh, these guys. Yeah, Hellbore cannons. So yeah, shield shunt. Yeah, well done. Hellbores will just ruin any ship that goes for the shield shunt. Probably probably what you might want to consider is something like that. A single Devastator and another Mjolnir. This is focused mainly, at this point, mainly against Remnant at this point. Sorry, not Remnant, just Redacted. Also, conquests get exponentially stronger the more conquests you have. So with 4 conquests like that, maybe 2 with left side Mjolnirs and the other 2 with right side Mjolnirs. Yeah. Ordos become kind of a joke. They just get shredded. And at the same time, you can actually pilot a good ship that's player based, such as Odyssey. I'm a Odyssey shill. Odyssey is the best capital in the game, obviously. But I did make a video a while ago showing Odyssey being controlled by AI actually, but Odyssey is incredible when controlled by player. You can, as a player, you can also control Paragon and be just ultimate anvil with proper shield flicking and stuff like that. But again, getting a little bit out of topic. So, yeah, just to summarize and maybe repeat a couple points. For most bare bones, go with Gauss cannons, Devastators, Mirths, and yeah, have all of those modules, except in this case you wouldn't have accelerated shields and less vents, 25 vents. Upgraded version, you definitely want to build in advanced storage gyros and probably heavy armor and expanded missile racks. Like I said, the maneuverability is fine, the hit doesn't matter that much, and reduction of rate of fire for missile weapons is actually beneficial for longevity of a fight. ECCM package upgrade is better when fighting Redacted. If you're playing modded, of course there might be some modded modules and maybe weapons that can make it better. I'm just trying to focus on what vanilla offers you. And then of course in like proper mid to the late game, with real officers, you just slap in Mjolnirs, Squalls, and yeah, have extra burst laser PD support from your gun port. Against again, but this is just to showcase how well it can handle fighter and bomber attacks by its own. Because if you have dedicated anti ordnance ship hovering around you, yeah, you might not even need that. You might give it extra modules. I don't know. Give some extra longer range weapon, like HVD, for example, stuff like that. You can play around, but the core are those large mounts, large missile mounts, and your medium missile mounts. So yeah, I think that's about it. It covers everything I wanted to talk about. Pretty freaking long one video. So I hope it wasn't too boring. Thank you so much for those who watched, and I'll talk to you next time.